Will Pokemon Scarlet and Violet be the best Pokemon games ever? Possibly. Let's talk about it. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Media, and today we're going to be discussing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and why I think they could actually end up being the best Pokemon games ever. Now, this is something Pokemon fans like to debate a lot of what their favorite Pokemon game is. Typically, it's the one you played when growing up, you know. I played Platinum first, but Black and White is certainly my favorite Pokemon game, or I should say Generation 5 is my favorite generation. But I love all Pokemon games. Even Sword and Shield, I think, is pretty solid as a Pokemon game overall. But I want to talk about why I think Scarlet and Violet could be the best Pokemon games we've had ever, or at the very least in a very long time. The first thing is that it's building upon Legends Arceus. It's open world. It's fully open world, unlike Arceus, which is zones. And that's just a huge step for the franchise. I know some people aren't huge fans of open world game design. I like it. Maybe not for every single game, but as a nice change of pace, I really am excited for that, especially when we get into the multiplayer aspects of this game, playing co-op with your friends. That's just going to be so much fun, running around the Paldea region with your friends, and that's going to make for a much more memorable experience than going around Galar for a region by yourself, or the wild area, which was not particularly great. Just the fact that it's open world is a huge step in the right direction, in my opinion, in terms of adding a sense of adventure to this game with the multiplayer, building upon Legends Arceus, which I really do think was one of the best Pokemon games we've had, probably in the past 8 to 9 years, probably since at least X and Y, maybe Oris. Legends Arceus was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed that game. For reasons different than I typically enjoy a Pokemon game, but that's fine. It's fine for a Pokemon, you know, to try new things and kind of expand its reach while we get games like Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and we get more standard remakes, do new things with these other, you know, other kind of Legends Arceus. They're not spin-offs, but, you know, Legends Arceus is a different kind of thing, and then Scarlet and Violet is just a huge new step forward for the franchise, trying out new things. I mean, people have been begging for Pokemon to adapt, and while Game Freak has certainly taken mostly half steps in getting there, they are slowly getting there, and that's really exciting as a Pokemon fan. So right off the bat, just the fact that they're taking all the cues, all the right cues from Legends Arceus and building upon that with a whole new generation of Pokemon, that has me insanely excited, and I think if done right, that alone could make it one of the best Pokemon games. Now let's talk about how they're structuring the story. So this is really interesting to me. Pokemon story is kind of weird because there are people that play just the story mode, or the campaign, I guess you could call it, and then there are people that only really care about the post game and grinding and competitive and all that. I kind of do a little bit of both, not necessarily competitive, but I do a lot of breeding and shiny hunting as my post game kind of reward for beating the story. Sun and Moon, I think, probably has one of the best stories in all of Pokemon, as well as Black and White and Black and White too. It's going to be very hard to top that with Team Star and the Victory Road Challenge, but I really like what they're doing and what we've seen so far of the story. So there's going to be a couple paths, I think 3 paths, that are separate storylines that you can do in any order as part of the story for Scarlet and Violet. You'll have your Team Star kind of clash storyline where you're fighting them. You have your Victory Road Challenge where you're getting the gym badges, and then you have the other storyline, I can't remember the name, where you're fighting the Titan Pokemon. Through doing these, you're essentially going to be getting gym badges or things equivalent to gym badges. You know, you're not going to get an actual gym badge for beating a Titan Pokemon, but you'll probably get something alongside that. And with that, we should be seeing way more gym badges in this game. I think the rumored number right now is 18. And that's exciting. Will it actually be a longer game than like a Sword and Shield? Who knows? But just mixing it up, you know, Titan Pokemon, that's essentially Totem Pokemon from Sun and Moon. I'm bringing that back and just having the regular gym challenge as well. That's just really exciting. They're doing the best of everything here. I like that they're kind of splitting it up, that you can do it in any order with the open world aspect of this game, and I just think that's really cool. I think that's very exciting, and I'm excited to, you know, Twitter is going to be very fun that day, because while I'm going to be doing the Victory Road Challenge first, I'm probably going to see people doing the Titan Challenge or the Team Star Challenge. So it's very exciting. I like this new approach, and here's the thing. I feel like people always forget this. If it doesn't work, they can just change it. They can just not do this later in the next game. This isn't like the set in stone path for Pokemon every time. So I think having this one Pokemon game that will be little different in how it's structured and its story, that's a good thing. And that's something, not to go off topic too much here, that I've really appreciated about the Switch era of Pokemon. They have all felt very distinct, whether you like it or not. They all have their very own unique art styles. And that's another thing which we can talk about now, are the graphics. Game Freak is not the best at graphics. No one's going to defend that. But they are getting better. and we have to give them the credit for that where it is due. Legends Arceus was a huge step. While that game definitely has some issues with its textures and lighting, and like getting into animations, they really did a lot of cool animations in that game. But looking at Scarlet and Violet, it looks a little bit more refined. The art style, that's definitely more subjective. I know some people don't love how the trainers look in this game, and that's completely fine. But in terms of just the raw graphics, it looks fine for a Switch game. I would say give this thing a different, like a slightly different, like more cel-shaded art style. It would actually probably look better beat for beat than like Breath of the Wild or something, right? The trees look great. You know, not to bring up the meme. And the game just looks very good. Performance is going to be a whole nother matter entirely. People that played the preview at the preview event a few weeks ago said there are definitely performance issues. We've seen a bit of that in the trailers, but that's one of those things we're going to have to wait and see for ourselves, because like the English trailers have looked worse than the Japanese trailers, which were made with more, you know, up-to-date builds. I'm not expecting a like constant, you know, a consistent frame rate, but if it's solid enough with the graphics we've seen in the trailers, that's fine for me. Pokemon is a yearly franchise. They are slowly making incremental upgrades each year, and you have to admit, this looks better than Sword and Shield. This looks better than Legends Arceus. This looks better than Brilliant Diamond, and maybe not Let's Go, but that's a whole different art style kind of thing. So, at the end of the day, they are improving slowly. Is that acceptable? I don't know, but I know it is the best looking Pokemon game, so that's enough for me right now. Now, I kind of already touched on the multiplayer, but I want to bring it up again because that is a huge part of Pokemon for a lot of us, and it's one of the things I'm most excited about in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Going back to X and Y, a big part of that game that no one talks about, that I loved to death, was the player search system, or PSS. That system added so much life to that game, and when they removed it in Sun and Moon, I was so sad. The Festival Plaza sucked. So to see that they're adding full online co-op multiplayer in this game, I'm surprised more people aren't hyped for this game in general. Like, and outside of like the Pokemon fandom. This is the kind of thing that people were begging for in 2013. Poke MMO. It's not quite like that, but the fact that I can run around with my friends in an open world Pokemon game, that's the kind of thing we were begging for years ago, and now no one seems to actually care about. I'm still right there, though. That's still incredibly exciting for me. I cannot wait to do that. I saw someone tweet, I can't remember their name, but they made a great point. You know, just in terms of like how nice it's going to be and how great it's going to be for convenience. Instead of having to have your friend who has the other version trade you an exclusive Pokemon, you can just go to their world and catch a Pokemon. That's going to be awesome. Or even just like, imagine the moment you're in your friend's world and you catch a shiny. They're going to be so angry. Just stuff like that. It's so promising. That is so exciting. So I still need to find my squad for that. I don't know which of my actual friends are like, you know, getting the game, so I'll have to figure that out. But besides the point, I'm very excited for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun just exploring Paldea with your friends. And I'm just shiny hunting with friends, dude. That's going to be so much fun on streams and everything. That's going to be so much fun. So multiplayer, that's definitely the biggest thing for me in terms of like new additions to this game. And then you have you have your Terra raids from Sword and Shield as well, or well, they were max raids then, but you know, they brought back raids, which is definitely the best thing Sword and Shield did, so that's also awesome as well. Next up, I want to talk about the new Pokemon designs, because I genuinely think these are some of the best designs they've done in a while. Granted, I think they've been pretty consistent in terms of Pokemon designs for a while now. Sword and Shield, I think, has a lot of really great Pokemon, but just what we've seen so far, recording this before any major leaks happen, from what we've seen so far, I'm really vibing with these. I think this is the strongest full trio of starters we've probably had since Black and White, honestly, because every generation has a stinker. For me, the stinker this time is Brigatito, and it's just a cat. It's fine. It's completely inoffensive. I actually like it, certainly more than Grookey. So, and then Fuecoco and Quaxly are both great as well. And not every Pokemon is a star this time around. Palmy is kind of whatever. Smoliv, I like Smoliv. Satitan, that's kind of okay. But, you know, we have stuff like Fido and Lechonk. And Lechonk, that's just a basic normal type Pokemon. And that's awesome. It's an awesome pig hog Pokemon. Who doesn't want that? Grafaiai is awesome. Cloth it's alright. Armarouge and Ceruledge, those are both great. Wiglet is awesome. And I've seen, this is a whole other topic. I've seen some people kind of debate whether they should be adding these meme bait Pokemon. I'm perfectly fine with it. That's my stance on that. So just seeing all these new great designs is very exciting. I think this game has the best mascot legendaries easily, hands down, since at least X and Y. Maybe since Black and White, I want to say. I'm trying to think. Koraidon and Miraidon are certainly better than Zacian and Zamazenta. They're certainly better than Solgaleo. Lunala certainly the stronger one there. And then X and Y, Xerneas and Yveltal are both very good. But yeah, these both mascot legendaries are very nice. I really like the designs, and that's great as well. Now, another thing that kind of goes into the designs of Pokemon is the fact that we're getting evolutions of old Pokemon. Now, we had started to see this a little bit more with, Legends Arceus, and I'm trying to think, did Sword and Shield have any? I can't remember. Correct me. Evolutions of old Pokemon. They had stopped doing that for like 2 generations. Gen 6 and Gen 7, except for Sylveon, had no evolutions of old Pokemon. I hate that. I want new evolutions of old Pokemon. I want your Ursalunas and your freaking Stantler evolution. I can't remember its name. That stuff is awesome. I love that. That's why Gen 4 has some of the best, like the best Pokédex, because all those new Pokemon was really exciting, and getting even pre-evolutions, bring those back. I know it's kind of like filler, but I like it. It builds upon the characters as Pokemon, or the Pokemon as characters, I should say. And new evolutions of old Pokemon, that's fantastic. Farigiraf, more of that, please. Give me more. As well as the regional variants and Wiglet, which I guess is going to be like a paradox form, or whatever the league called it. So just in general, designs of new Pokemon and the amount of new Pokemon, I'm very excited. All these new forms, the Terra Crystal hat things are cool too. So very excited for all of that. Another feature that I think a lot of people are kind of glossing over, except when negatively talking about shiny hunting, is the auto battle feature. So in this game, you can just send out your Pokemon, and they will attack a wild Pokemon, and they will kill it, and it just basically speeds through a whole battle. That is so nice, and that's just a nice feature in terms of quality of life and speeding up the game, and making it less grindy. You can send out your Quaxley, he'll do a couple attacks, you can watch it in real time, and then your entire team will get XP for that. The balance here is going to be a little weird. That's certainly going to be an issue, I think. But just on the surface, that's a net positive thing, that you can just speed through a battle and get it done really quick, do some grinding, and it'll certainly make exploring the open world, going back to that, a little bit more seamless. So I really like auto battle. Of course, you can kill shiny Pokemon on accident. That's not good. So maybe they'll add something to circumvent that. But the auto battle system, something I haven't talked about before, that I'm actually very excited for. And then the final thing, this is just a complete unknown, but DLC seems very likely for Scarlet and Violet. Sword and Shield got it. That may have been because of that whole pandemic thing happening. Maybe Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl was supposed to come out that year. But DLC seems pretty likely, or at least maybe it'll be an upgraded version. Who knows what they're going to do. You cannot predict Pokemon companies sometimes. And with the story structure of having these 3 completely separate storylines, easy add a new storyline as DLC, probably 2 in an expansion pass like Sword and Shield. So you'll end up with 5 actual storylines in this game, more badges or whatever they're gonna do on a new area of the map. Easy. That's complete speculation though, but if they do that, that would be very nice. Now, all of that's not to say this game is not without its faults. We're not going to have the full national dex, most likely. I don't know if that's actually confirmed, but most likely we're not going to have that. And there's certainly going to be negative things, right? There's always going to be negative things. You can always nitpick. But as a diehard Pokemon fan, I can safely say this is the most excited I've been for a new Pokemon game since X and Y. And that's saying something. Even Legends Arceus, which I really loved, I wasn't as excited for as this game. Although Legends Arceus being that good probably helped me get excited for Scarlet and Violet. So I'm just very excited for these games. I'm very optimistic. This could get very dated very quickly in 2 weeks, and I play the game and I hate it. Who knows? I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think Game Freak has the sauce right now, and I'm just very excited. Technical issues aside, I think this is going to be a very fun open-world Pokemon game to play with your friends. Going to be great for shiny hunting. Going to be great for doing challenge runs, and I am very excited. So let me know what you all think down in the comments below. Do you think Pokemon Scarlet and Violet could end up being the best Pokemon games, or at the very least, some of the best? Maybe let's not go too far with the best ever. I'm just very optimistic for these games. I think they're going to do very well, and I'm very excited to play them with you all and make more videos for you all. Of course, subscribe here so you're up to date on all the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news and leaks and then content once the games comes out. I'll probably be streaming them as well once that happens, and I'm very excited for a lot. Once again, thank you all so much for the support over this past week on the Pokemon videos. You can subscribe here for more of that. Follow me on Twitter at BoTalksMedia. Join my Discord. A lot of Pokemon fans in there grouping up, figuring out their squads for release day. And until next time, folks, peace.